Hey, Darian here, founder of Dash Activate Online. On today's video, I want to talk about a topic I'm quite passionate about, and it's how being an entrepreneur will keep you young. So let's get into it. This is a bit of a different video today. I want to talk more about the mindsets around business and how that impacts other areas of your life. One of the things that I've noticed from working in an office, I guess in a previous life, to having side hustles and e-commerce businesses and now running my own agency and being completely independent and autonomous, I guess I got some perspective across two different lifestyles. One of the things I've noticed that whilst being an entrepreneur and being completely autonomous with where I spend my time, the problems that I solve, and what takes up my focus and attention, is that I've noticed that I've got a better sense of presence to day to day compared to when I worked in an office. And the big takeaway from this that I want to impart in this video is that I'm not saying you have to go and build a business to stay young, but one of the side effects of working in an office or not having that full passion and pleasure from life is that you'll start building these patterns to almost autopilot through your day. Now, this is a bit of a leftover biological programming, I guess, from nature or evolution, in that in the world around us, nature is incentivized to minimize the energy that's output for the return that's coming back. Because if you think about it from the perspective of a cheetah in the jungle, they can't be going out and chasing down all sorts of opportunities all the time and not capturing that food because they're going to die. So they're always looking at ways of minimizing that expensive energy, so stalking up on their prey and hitting it before they can get away and then eating, as opposed to running around constantly expending energy with no return. We're the same. So the human body or the human mind is designed to try and find patterns and routines that it can switch into an autopilot for in your day-to-day, which allow you to expend less energy on making decisions and getting through the day. The downside with that is over time you'll start building up more and more of these patterns, and it starts to shut off the world from your perspective, and you're not as fully engaged in that as you could be. One way that I've gotten around it is obviously having business ventures and things that I'm passionate about and that I'm fully stepping into and fully stepping out of my comfort zone to immerse myself in. So every day I'm always switched on, I'm always thinking about what I'm doing, I'm pushing through those discomforts and trying to find edges and make the most of. So I find that my mind's always on, I'm always totally present with what I'm doing. Looking back, I'm now 37 and I can sort of see people that I grew up with that have kind of gone into these comfort zone type lifestyles versus my own lifestyle, especially in the last 5 to 7 years. When I look at some of those other people that I grew up with, you can see this kind of death in their eyes of like trudging through life on autopilot. Whereas I feel I have this vitality and excitement to get up every day and work on business. So how do you implement this in your life if you don't have a business? Because as I said before, this isn't just to go out and start a business and enjoy life more, because that's definitely not how it works. There's a whole lot more stress and responsibility and all sorts of other factors that come into play when you're running a business that you may not be willing to take on. But if you are, I definitely recommend it. It's an awesome way to get more richness in life and create more value day to day. But if you don't want to do that, there are other ways you can apply this same principle to your day-to-day life. For example, looking at ways that you can step out of your comfort zone. And when I say stepping out of your comfort zone, I don't mean stepping into uncomfortable situations, because they're two different things. Stepping out of your comfort zone, at least to me, means taking a risk, taking opportunities where failure would mean a change or a death in ego or that idea that you have of yourself. Taking that risk and putting yourself out there with that potential downfall is what I mean by stepping out of your comfort zone. So it might be going and learning a new hobby or a new skill or taking on a new sport, or it might be putting yourself out there and creating some art or some video or doing something like this, where this to me, I mean, it's not completely uncomfortable, but it is still stepping out of my comfort zone, and I've got to motivate myself to jump on camera and tell these stories. These are all ways that you can implement that into your life. And by taking those actions, not only will it switch on your mind and bring your focus back to the present moment about what you're doing, but you'll find that as you start stepping out of that even more, you'll start to slowly shift your emotional balance to seeking those experiences as opposed to resisting them or repelling them. From personal experience, I've found from doing this for so long now, my emotional system is actually geared towards pushing me into those situations where I get so much joy and excitement out of being uncomfortable and doing things that aren't necessarily my normal day-to-day. So much so that it actually makes me feel like icky and gross if I don't do those things on a regular basis. Like if I'm just living a quote-unquote normal day-to-day life and just working every day and not pushing myself to experience discomfort, I feel weird and gross and kind of useless. Over time, as you start pushing yourself through more of those situations, your emotional system will change and you'll start seeking out more of those experiences. And then it becomes like that hockey stick action. Like you'll take more action, you'll experience more discomfort, you'll seek more discomfort, you'll take more action, and then your life snowballs and exponentially grows from there. So cool, just a quick video. I wanted to explain that concept and get it on film for you guys. If you want to discuss this, if you disagree or you agree, please mention it in the comments or shoot me a message. I do love talking about this sort of stuff, and yeah, hopefully this mindset stuff is useful for you. Cool, all right, have a great day, bye.